3 men and a multiverse of sci-fi's finest spacecraft, but which ones can claim to be the greatest ships ever? Welcome to Space Doc Jury.
Space Doc Jury, episode number 39. I'm Lee, and I will be bringing Talyn from Farscape.
I'm Peter, and I'm bringing Scarroth's Jaggeroth ship from Doctor Who.
I'm jet-lagged all to fuck, and I'm bringing the Atlantis city ship.
Hey! And we also have a guest host.
Yay! It's me, and I'm bringing a shit ship.
Yes. Cool.
Quite literally.
Two from the Star Trek episode Tin Man.
Tin Man. Nice. If I only had a heart. There you go. That's the theme we'll play with it. That's it. There you go.
Fair enough. Spending any of the music in the story.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, to be the music shit ship. I'm going to be doing that so much, aren't I, after a few more ciders?
Yeah, ship.
Oh, yeah, shit. It's a shitty ship. It's very shitty.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's it.
Yes, would you like to shit on the shitty ship?
Well, given that they actually make a chair out of shit for him to shit on at one point, it's, yeah.
Well, actually, this is the Sean
a great
Connery
day, comrades. We sail into shit.
This is actually a Sean Connery lineup, because you got the Atlantis shitty ship.
Yes, we have a shitty ship.
You got Tin Man, which is a ship. And then you got Scarroth's Jaggeroth ship. Talyn kind of lets it down, but we could go with it. Let's just go with it. Don't knock it.
Yeah, why not? Any excuse. Which I think does tell us now who should be doing the top 10.
Oh, yes.
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 It will be a top 10 long remembered.
Aye. Sure.
Aye.
Sure.
Yes, we sail into history.
We sail into the top 10. And
yes.
Sure.
Peter, will you not be joining us? Sean's over here.
You know I can't do the accent, so...
Yes, I know.
How about you, Anne-Marie? Do you want to try Sean before we dig into the top 10?
Well, there's an invitation.
For now.
Yeah, euphemism.
Many have.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then, in which case... Let's get on with the top 10. Well, let's start with the top 10 with the number 10, which is a new entry, which is the Peacekeeper Command Carrier with 64 points.
Yes, I don't remember that. When did we do that ship?
You had a bit of a time-traveling incident.
Oh, yes. I forgot to reverse the polarity of neutron flow.
No. So, then we move on to the position number 9, and there we have the UNSC Spirit of Fire, also with 64 points.
Yes, it's a big brick of a ship. It's not as big as for October, but it's not bad.
It fits in the car park in the Red October 7th deck.
Yes.
And then in position number 8, we have the Battlestar Pegasus. The Battlestar Pegasus with 64 points.
Pegasus.
My screen is covered in shit. At 7, we have the Imperial Star Destroyer, which is really doing my teeth no good whatsoever, with 65 points.
I like the 7. It was good commitment of a bit.
Aye, 7.
Yes. In fact, it should have been 007.
Aye, it should have been, but it wasn't. So, yes.
Oh.
At number 6, we have the Battlestar Galactica, the Ronald D. Moore version, also with 65 points. I'm starting to sound a bit Swedish.
Yes. It's gone in a strange direction.
Yes.
It's up there with his Russian accent.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the North Azores. Right, okay, so then we move on to number 5, which is the Jub Jesus ship, the Andromeda Ascendant, which is with 66 points. I need to hose down my microphone. Right, and at number 4 we have the SSD Executor. Superstar Destroyer Executor with 68 points.
It's got a bit strange, but I will point out that it's only slightly smaller than the Red October. I think if we do the Red October, it'll be coming in there.
Yes. And then at number 3, everything remains the same. We have the Borg Cube with 69 points. At number 2, the Vengeful Spirit, a.k.a. the Snowplow Dildo of Doom, which is 69 points. And finally, at number 1, we have the Death Star, which is now starting to sound like I'm going into James L. Jones slowly into 73 points. What am I talking about?
You went Welsh there and all.
Hey, look. Yeah, I've been watching too much Fireman Sam.
Unlike Sean, he did the entire gambit of actions. Lee has a remarkable range.
Yes.
Most impressive.
If only I could stay on one of them, that would be great.
Yes.
But anyway.
But I'm sure with time, it will come to you.
Anyway. Yes. We're done. That was excruciating. Let's never do that again. So anyway,
all our Scottish listeners.
Yes, we can only apologise.
Is there anyone we haven't offended at this point?
Well, we did do Icelandic, Welsh, Nordic. Yeah, I think we did pretty much all of them there. And any of our tax dodging Scottish actor listeners, we can only apologise as well. So there we go. We had a new entry last time. The Peacekeeper Command Carrier storming in there at 64 points. Yeah, so that's good, which bodes well for any further Farscape ships. That's all I'm going to say.
I wonder what else might be coming today.
Yes. So we've got a few coming in today. So we're going to start off now. Basically, last time was Elton and Dave Probert standing in nobly for our missing hosts. So I've flipped a coin in my head and decided that Elton's choice, which was the ET Home Phone 1, can't believe he called it that. It was Andy's ship, because that's the sort of ship he would bring, honestly.
No, it's because me and Elton are effectively interchangeable.
Yes, well, of course, that as well. So by that measure, you're going first, Andy. And so what are you bringing for us today?
Yes, as I previously mentioned, I'm bringing a shitty ship.
No, please
stop. I'm bringing the ancient city ships from Stargate Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
A unique thing to take a city that sits in the water.
Well, to be fair, you brought a city full of dinosaurs a couple of episodes back.
Yeah, but that was at least in space.
At least it's what?
At least it was in space.
He's going to space.
Go on,
he's go across galaxies, old spot. These are entirely eligible.
Okay.
So, yes.
Go for it.
Atlantis, also called the Lost City of the Ancients, or the City of the Ancestors, or Atlantis in ancient. It's funny, the difference between ancient language and English is they change the I to a U. There you go.
Of course.
Is a city ship built by the ancients.
Or a sutty ship.
A shitty ship.
Or a sutty ship. If they change the I to a U, it's a sutty ship.
Yes, it's a shutty ship.
And there go the wheels flying off.
Oh, the nacelles flew off ages ago. Anyway, look, you brought Anne-Marie on this. What did you expect? Anyway, it was a city ship built by the ancients several million years ago, approximately the same area as found in Manhattan. The ancients left the Milky Way galaxy several million years ago for the Pegasus galaxy, taking Atlantis with them and setting up on a planet called Lantia, which became their new capital. Mm-hmm. And then millions of years later, they keep emphasizing this point, it was millions of years ago, I think trying to ensure they were ancient.
Yes.
The Lantines, the name the ancients came to be known by, submerged the city to protect it from their enemies, the Wraith, and returned to Earth through the Stargate. Their story over time inspired the Taurine myth of Atlantis. So, now you know.
Strong as old as time.
Quite, yes. Also, I think it saves a lot of time doing that way. You need to move galaxies rather than packing all your stuff, putting it in the ships. No, just take the entire city with you.
Yeah.
It's very, very convenient.
Saves moving.
So, some stats about city ships in general. They were mobile cities developed by the ancients.
They're justified and they're ancient.
No.
And they drive an ice cream van.
Wrong cast. We don't break into song randomly.
Oh,
well, we
right.
occasionally do. But we try to discourage it. It's so hard getting the stains out of the furniture. Anyway, where were we? The city ship's design closely resembles that of a modern city than a spacecraft, with systems and living quarters distributed throughout several towers that extend away from the drive system. While in flight, the top of a city ship would be considered the front. So it kind of flies upward, I guess, or across. All known city ships are capable of planetary landing, and indeed do not seem to be designed primarily to function in space. Their hulls are not airtight, requiring a shield to maintain atmosphere. They are typically powered by 3 0-point modules. A 0-point module is a thing which gives power.
It's a glowy battery.
It is fundamentally. It's you know how a Duracell have that kind of power test strip where you press it and it tells you how much power's in it? This is the ultimate evolution of that. Yeah. It's just the glowing strips have suddenly become self-aware and now provide power.
Does it come with its own rabbit?
Absolutely.
Who misses?
In fact, most of season 2 was trying to locate the rabbit.
Yeah, the ancients then went on into adult massaging products.
And the batteries never run out.
Yeah, wow. Exactly.
Anyway, city ships are inherently buoyant, capable of floating on the surface of a large body of water without any issues whatsoever. And in another world, Peter might have bought a city ship because a lot of them do seem to crash over time. In fact, of all the city ships we know of, the only one which is still flight-worthy and capable of flight is Atlantis itself. Others have ended up in mountains and in forests and all over the shop. So, yes, I should score well with Peter on that.
You have my interest now.
The city ships carry a large number of drone weapons. These are primarily their only armament. But these things are extremely capable little doodads, capable of taking down Wraith motherships in a massive volley. They kind of swarm the enemy and just kind of it blows up afterwards.
The bees! No?
It is exactly that.
You
it
get
really
bees.
is.
Everyone gets bees. Bees for everyone.
Yes. Yes, you get bees.
All your
you
bees.
get bees. All of the bees. Anyway, where were we? I mean, that's the nuts and bolts of it. I mean, I can go into little bits and pieces like about the control towers and the Stargates and the puddle jumpers.
You need to answer the important question.
What is that?
Do they come equipped with a Greg's?
Of course.
Excellent.
Of course.
Can I also ask?
It's down there, down the corridor, turn left, all the way down to the end, past a prime mark, and it's on the left of the street corner.
Follow the smell of sausages.
Absolutely.
It's always good policy.
Okay.
You had a point to raise, Mr. Metcalf?
I was going to ask where its cockpit was.
Fnar.
Euphemism. It's in the central tower.
Ah, okay.
Yes. The tall bit, in the middle bitty there.
Yep. Okay.
So now we know. Hell, like I said, let's just get on and try and do the whole rating of this thing.
Okay, this is going to be fun. So go on then. What have you got for size?
Well, for size, I'm told it has the same space as Manhattan. Now, that's not saying it's as long as Manhattan. Merely, it has the same area as Manhattan.
Does it have its own Woody Allen as well?
Does it have its own Woody Allen? Quite possibly. It did play Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue when they first entered in season 1, so it might be connected there.
I can maybe save you a bit of time if you like. If you would like to, do you remember the scale picture with all the ships and everything? One pixel.
I've seen several of those, but yes, I do recall.
Yes.
We might be relying on heavily tonight.
We are a little bit, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say the one that was the original one, which worked off the 1 pixel equals 1 meter thing, does actually have the Talyn Atlantis city ship on it.
Okay, and what does that put it down as?
It puts it down as 3,750 meters, basically 3.7 kilometers.
That sounds about right for Manhattan, though, to be fair.
No, Manhattan. Well, the land area of Manhattan is 60 kilometers.
Yeah, but that's
the area.
Yeah.
And again, as we said, it's not the length.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's Atlantis is kind of like it's kind of like a sort of, I don't know, snowflake size. So it's equidistant.
What I'm thinking is, if I'm thinking of the footprint, as it were, of Manhattan, you're going to go from the farthest point to the farthest point as a diagonal, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that to me sounds about right.
Well, we do see in one episode it kind of ends up in San Francisco Bay, taking up most of that bay. And a quick because while I was just there recently, I didn't actually get out the tape measure. Short-sighted of me, I
Yeah,
admit.
it was.
Yeah.
You should go back. Do it again.
I probably should.
Right. Well,
But anyway, the bay is about 16 kilometres.
yeah, and 7 across.
7 o'clock. Well, then it can't be any more than 7.
Yeah. So yeah, and the Golden Gate Bridge is 2.7 kilometers.
Oh, it didn't glide in. It landed there.
Oh right, okay. But how did it compare?
Because they'd like to make an entrance.
Well, obviously. But how did it compare against the Golden Gate Bridge? Because I mean, from the sound of it, 3.7 kilometers sounds about right. Then.
Oh, I'll take the 3.7 just because I've got nothing otherwise or anything there. You know?
No, that's cool. I mean, 3.7. I don't even know.
It's not small, is it?
No, so 3.
No, it's pretty.
That's 11 on our size scale.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's not too shabby. There you go. You're off to a flyer with 11.
Well, hey.
Hey, you're already half of what Elton got for the ET ship already in one shot.
Well, you know, it is hard to compare with the McManus factor, but we'll try nonetheless and see where we get from here. On the sublight front, it does shift when it goes out, sort of thing. It's kind of we've done Stargate stuff before, haven't we? Where did we stick the old
oh god, the was it the Goa'uld?
The Goa'uld, we put him down as a 5. I don't know, because again, actually, no. Where did
and the FTL is
Destiny?
3.
No, where did Destiny go?
Destiny. Oh,
it's going to be comparable. It's an ancient ship like the Destiny was, so it's going to be
Hmm.
comparable to that.
Destiny.
We put down as 4. So yeah, I guess it's probably about the same as that.
Okay, so 4 it is. I've got no reference because I've never seen it fly, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And Stargate FTL is 3.
Well, this isn't Stargate FTL. This is the ancient FTL, which enables it to travel from another galaxy to our galaxy in a matter of hours.
Ah, so that's Destiny FTL again. Where's
Well,
that gone?
Destiny FTL we only put as a 4 because the Destiny itself it did it the slow way. It kind of took forever to get to the other galaxy. It was still pretty quick. It's going to be 5 because it can't be any higher than 5 because 6 we get into timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff.
Why has it got to be 5 again?
Well, 5 is effectively instantaneously crossing a galaxy, isn't it? And this can make it from one galaxy to another galaxy in a matter of hours.
That's not instantaneous.
No.
Fine. Well,
It's a 4.
And we're off. We're back.
Welcome back, Andy.
whatever. Like I said, jet lag, don't care. Stick it as grey, though, because I'll knock you both out at the pub next time.
Yeah, I'll grey that.
I love you.
No, I mean, I guess, I mean, to be quite honest, it is a hard one to measure. If you can cross an entire galaxy in a matter of hours, then that is as near as damn it instantaneous. But
Well, yeah, and I don't think instantaneous was meant to be as it has to be instantaneous. It was supposed to show.
I have a note on my thing that says 4 is limited instantaneous or bloody fast but not instantaneous. It sounds like bloody fast but not instantaneous to me.
Well, for all we know, it could be instantaneous within there. I mean, the Pegasus Galaxy was the other side of a known universe.
yeah, that is true. he has covered like several trillion light years in a matter of hours.
I mean, okay, Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years. The universe is 13.5 billion light years
to the visible universe.
To the visible. Well, it was across the visible universe anyway. So
Yeah, but your 5 is unlimited, instantaneous jumps.
You press the button, you're there.
if I could quote from
It isn't.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hours, that's not instantaneous, so that's
If
a
I
4.
could quote Pirates of the Caribbean, they're more actual guidelines than rules.
I'm more just concerned that I can't see Destiny. I don't know where it is.
It's on there, but we put it down as 4. But that's
there it
because
is.
Destiny took millions of years to get to the other galaxy because it did it using conventional or more conventional FTLs. That was the whole story point. They sent out Destiny, and then later on they built the city ships and kind of jumped ahead of it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll put it as 4 for the moment because we're all a
Put
little.
a note for the pub that
We'll put a
Anne-Marie agrees with Peter.
Shock.
Now, this isn't me. You know, I don't normally agree with Peter, so I think you should note that for the record.
It's noted for the record. All I'm saying,
Writing in my diary today.
It is.
Really
But all I'm saying is,
Near as damn.
yes, we use these notes of unlimited instantaneous jumps and all this, but that is more to say this is how it works, how it appears. If something does something, I mean, again, we have like perfect shields. It might be that something can get through those shields, but it takes so long to get through it. It may as well be perfect. They are guidelines.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Before we lose the buzz of just having fun, we turn into an argument. Let's just say I've put the grey on it. Everyone agrees that we will have a discussion in the pub at Christmas and take this to task.
But you will remember, you've noted.
It's already noted. Let Pete show you. I've already noted it.
That's cool.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, good Lord.
Anyway, okay. Let's just get on with it, because I'm sure we'll have other arguments on this thing as we go along.
That never happened.
For maneuverability, though, it's one. It's a city in space. It's a shitty in space.
I was gonna say, yeah. Okay, so
Just purely out of interest, do you ever give anything maneuverability 0?
Yes,
the
we
Voth
gave
City
the Voth
ship.
City ship 0, and we gave the Death Star 0, and we gave Babylon 4 0.
Oh, fair enough. That makes sense. Yeah, cool. Okay.
and GTV.
This moves more than those.
Yeah,
but not
even a bit is more than 0, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And GTVA Colossus also got 0.
Which also just sits there like a fucking
lemon.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
There you go. Okay.
Right. Okay. Firepower.
Now, for firepower, it has the drone sort of swarmy system. It can effectively one-shot a capital ship with that. Although it's not, strictly speaking, a single shot. It's a single swarm.
It's a single volley.
It's a what, sorry?
It's a single volley, so it's a single...
Yeah, exactly. It fires these things, and they go, and then the ship just blows up. Just like that.
Okay. Sounds fine to me.
So whatever one shot in the capital ship is
10.
10. Yeah, I don't think anything higher than that's really do it again.
Cool. Right, okay. So what about defences? Here's going to be interesting.
Active I mean, technically speaking, its firepower is more defensive than offensive. It just has that ability. So I'm not going to double dip on the whole drone thing. Although it does use its drones to shoot down projectile weapons coming towards it.
Now, don't drone on.
Are you proud of that?
Yes.
Are you proud of that sentence?
It's been a long day. I'm proud of that sentence.
It's a long day.
Yeah, I really don't think on active there's anything I can really claim for. I certainly can't think of anything in our usual selections of things. So, yeah, we will leave that out. Passive-wise, though,
yep,
it does have near as damn it perfect shields when it has its 3 ZPMs. Now, the thing will run on 1 ZPM.
ZPM?
0-point module. The
ZPM. We are
we are English. The show is American.
Yeah, we have to use the nomenclature.
In fact, Amory, if I can do it in a way you'd understand, his name is Data, not Data.
That's because it's his name and he is a person.
Well, this is their names. Well, their names of the things.
Oh, God.
Anyway, the shields are near as perfect, near as damn it perfect. They're pretty much indestructible, and even running on a single ZPM, it managed to keep the shield up for 1 million years at the bottom of an ocean.
Bloody hell.
Under the sea.
Yeah, so I think that's a 5.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with that.
No, but I think Lee's about to.
That's impressive.
Well, I'm putting. I am putting. Oh, Jesus Christ. I put down a 5, so don't worry. But I remember there being an episode where the Wraith were basically bombing it from orbit and giving it a good thumping.
Yeah, that was when the Stargate team arrived. The ZPM that was fitted was failing. It was like at the end of its life. Apparently, they only have a half-life of about several million years. It's really considerate, to be honest. So what they had to do is they plugged in Nakwita reactors. Now, a Nakwita reactor supposedly could power the Earth on its own. But when you were using it on the station, it wasn't as effective as the ZPM. And it meant that the Wraith had a chance of getting through. But later on in the series, they clocked 3 more ZPMs, which is why they managed to make it back to Earth at some point, and then the shields were effectively impervious.
Right.
So basically, as long as you've got your batteries, you're fine.
Okay, fine. I'm not arguing. I just remember that bit.
I'm imparting information.
Cool.
Because
okay.
I did such a poor job of it at the beginning.
Okay, so what about special then?
Okay, we have a cloaking device.
A cloaking device.
It has a cloaking device, yes. We have the Stargate, which I think counts for something in that you can do the whole...
Yeah, we did that before with the Goa'uld ships that you can beam.
And we did it with Destiny as well, as I recall.
Yeah, you can beam stuff into it. Yeah.
We have an onboard military, or a military force.
Yep.
I think that's probably everything I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
Again, nothing else. Actually, it has teleporters.
That's the Stargates, mate.
No. Stargates are different to the teleporters. It has the teleporters where it can move around the station without using the Stargate. But, I mean, they're limited in range. They're not...
not really a defensive thing, though, are they? They're more of like...
Transport.
I was going to say that's more like saying that a lift is defensive because people...
Well, I think if Elton had thought of that last week, Home Phone 1 might have had an extra point.
Nice.
Anyway, no, that's fine. I was just mentioning it more for the fact it was there. But yeah, I think that's it really on terms of...
3 for special.
Yeah.
Now, crew size.
Yeah, now this is where it gets awkward.
Yes.
So, much like the Enterprise D,
technically
speaking, you can fly it with one person.
Right.
However, we all agree that just because the person isn't involved in actually flying it doesn't mean we're not technically part of the crew. Now...
I hear a big long orbit to run up and say there's 6 of us, but actually there's a ship that can hold 1,000 people.
No, I have a number.
Go on.
There's a long run up to the number, but anyway, I'm just laying out my point. But while technically you can do it on one, to run the ship effectively, the minimum number I can find is 400 people.
How many were Team Atlantis?
No, that was from the Team Atlantis one.
So that is Team Atlantis on the ship. 400 people went through to Atlantis.
No, 400. No, originally, I think it was 24 people went through to Atlantis, but they couldn't operate the ship. But
so how many did they need to fly it back to Earth?
No, flying it back to Earth, they did it with one person. Flying it back to the Pegasus galaxy, they needed 400 people.
Fair enough. I don't see it.
I think you've got to think of, it's one thing to just be able to fly it somewhere. It's quite another to have enough crew to be able to defend it, use the weapons, whatever else. Do you know what I mean? It's just because only one person could fly it to a place doesn't mean it only needs one crew properly.
And also, not all these people were necessarily engaged in the flight operations of a ship, but some of them were involved in the science and all that sort of stuff involved in it. They were crew. They weren't there on holiday.
Yeah, they weren't passengers.
Yeah, exactly. They were serving the purpose of the ship.
So that's a 5 for size.
Yes.
A 5 for size. Now, about competence.
You sound like you have a thought to have here, sir.
Well, no, it's just the amount of episodes I watched of Stargate Atlantis, and I admit I didn't watch a lot of them, seem to involve certain... Is it McKay?
The Canadian chap, yes.
Mr.
I'm going to come and save the world.
Come and save the world. Usually making...
He was basically Canadian Carter.
Yeah, and then usually at some point making some horrific mistake which would threaten the station quite regularly.
Now, to be fair, he kind of stopped doing that after season 2.
However, he still did it for nearly 46 episodes.
Was that how many episodes in the season?
I think it's 26 in one season and 20.
No, I was going to pitch for a 3 on this one. You're right. You have instances of stupidity, but again, it's like all network television science fiction of the time sort of thing, It usually works out in the end. They learn, they grow, they come together, sing a little song, and everything works out well in the end. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, they did a better job of not fucking things up than the SG-1 lot did back in the Milky Way galaxy.
Well, yeah, that wasn't hard, really, let's be honest.
Yeah. Also, I mean, again, they, in one instance sort of thing, you have one of those situations where the commander is kind of captured and what's going to happen, And normally, the way these things play out is they do something stupid and boneheaded to go and rescue her, and everything works out for the end anyway. No, in this one, they go, actually, you know what? If we do that, it's going to end up really bad. So, yeah, see you later. Bye. And they saved the rest of the people. So I'm like, well done. It might have something to do with the fact that her contract wasn't being renewed. But, aside from that.
But however, story-wise, plot points, it worked.
Yes. Incidentally, can I just jump back to defense very briefly? I forgot to mention puddle jumpers.
Oh, support craft, basically.
Yes.
Shuttles.
Yes.
Shuttles. Were they armed?
They're terrible-looking shuttles, but it has them.
But
We haven't.
But they aren't.
Shuttles before now. I thought I tried to get.
They're not
Shuttles don't count. They've got to be like attack craft, haven't they?
They're not shuttles. They're, I suppose, the equivalent of runabouts, if you will. They are armed with drones, and they're capable of independent flight outside of a thing in space. And they have been used as fighter craft on numerous occasions.
They are stupid, though. They do look like...
Oh, they look utter shit.
They look like someone's put a window on a Yule log.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't look pretty at all.
Well, I can... Yeah, I mean, they do have weaponry. They are used as fighters. I'll give you that.
If they're used as fighters, then...
Yeah, defense fighter thingies.
That's an extra for special, is it?
Yes, so one extra for special, so we're on 4 for special now.
Yes.
So,
but anyway, back to crew competence. I'm only asking for a 3.
Well, that's
just
fine.
Because at the end of the day, they don't do anything particularly stupendously amazing.
No, it's fine.
Or they're not shit.
Yeah.
That's the same as Destiny, so I'm quite happy about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
And they had the villainous Robert Carlyle kind of.
You mean Robert? I'm totally not Gaius Balter Carlyle. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's move on to realization.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, again, we're in. I think it's late 90s, early 2000s CG territory. So I'm sure Peter's going to love it.
We was looking at pictures.
Yes.
But we found it difficult to identify what was actually from the show. Have you got a way of sending us a picture, like a screenshot or something, from the actual show?
Hang about. I'll throw this link in the chat for you. Where's the chat thing? There it is. Right. That's the screenshot from the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blurry 4x3 stuck in a 16:9 frame.
Yeah, well, it's the best I got to show you just there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not asking for the world. I'd probably pitch it at about a 3, to be honest. I think it's a big step up from what we saw in Stargate, and at least in terms of the CG we were seeing in what's the other thing?
Oh yeah, it's not as good as Destiny, but it's not.
Well, it's not as good as Destiny, but it's about 10 years before Destiny, wasn't it?
Yeah. It does look like a fidget spinner.
It looks a lot like a fidget. It's ahead of its time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to need a bit of a frame of reference. What else gets? What was it you was asking for? 3.
Yeah.
What else gets 3?
What for Rick's for realization? Well,
Yeah.
there was the TARDIS, but we were talking about externals and CGI and bits on strings.
Well, the
stuff
Centauri
like
Primus from Babylon 5 got a 3.
Okay, no, that's a good frame of reference to me. I'm familiar with Babylon 5.
What about the Lex?
Yeah.
Have you seen Lex? Lex got a 3.
Andromeda Ascendant got a 3. The Zerg Leviathan got a 3.
Star Trek Voyager got a 3.
Even though it's a spoon.
Well, yeah, it's a spoon, but
it's a well-realised spoon.
Oh, no, fair enough.
I think 3 is kind of where it's at, to be honest.
I'm just trying to find 3 that you might know. Spaceball 1 from Spaceballs got a 3. Yeah.
The Gua Uld Hatak got a 3 from Stargate SG-1. So we're kind of in that ballpark.
As far as I can tell, pretty much anything from Babylon 5 got a 3.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
I think that's fair enough because it's around about the same sort of time, isn't it? Roughly.
Well, it's a little bit after that.
A little bit after, but not a lot after.
Yeah.
Not looking shittier anyway.
Yeah. They did manage to turn on the aliasing on it, so that's good.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. So exterior of 3, interior.
Interior-wise, I'm going to ask for 4, and that's just more so on the amount you see of the interior and the amount of diversity it has. I mean, you get a lot more. You've got the gate room, you've got the operations center, the puddle jumper bays, corridors galore. I mean, they love their corridors on Atlantis, but they're still slightly more interesting than what you find in Star Trek, to be perfectly honest. And you have this kind of interesting uplighting in a lot of it, sort of thing. The ancients like the uplighting from the floor panels. So yeah, I'd ask for a 4. I mean, the sets themselves are pretty solid. There's no curtains in sight. So instantly, it's a step up on what we've seen in Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with a 4, but I think you might want to send a picture through to the.
Actually, if we could.
I'll tell you what. I'll send you this link here, which is, if you just browse down there, there's little thumbnails of like a load of different rooms. Okay, they're small thumbnails. I didn't realise that when I sent you the link. Let me see if I can find you some better pictures.
Yeah, they're 130 by 100.
How about, here you go. Here's a better link. Great podcasting for the people listening out there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not adverse.
If you want to know what we're looking at, it's on the Stargate wiki. This page for city ships. Oh, sorry, for city ships.
Yeah. So okay, let's just go down the list a little bit. Yeah.
Just browse down there. You've got.
Wow, we've got to go down quite a way.
It's quite a way, but you get some sense of the interior rooms and spaces in there. You've got the hologram room, the conference room,
ZPM room.
Yes, the hub, the jumper bay. Some really nice lighting effects in here, to be perfectly honest. I'm actually quite
impressed. It's all looking very Trek to me. What do we normally give Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have...
Instantly they like it.
Yeah, good play. Yeah.
So what do we give Trek interiors?
Kind of up and down a bit.
It depends on the ship, but typically a good one will get a 4 or 5.
Okay,
so
that's fair enough.
If
it's good Trek interiors is a 4, then that's fair enough.
Fine, 4 it is. Well played, Andy. I've got to give you some
thank you,
benefits for that.
Know your audience.
Yeah, exactly. Playing to the crowd there, my friend.
Little bit. Yeah. On science, less good. I mean, we're not down away with the fairies, to be perfectly honest.
What?
But equally so.
We're not down away with the fairies. However many bloody millenniums of years ago, and it's underneath a fucking ocean with shields that don't run out, and suddenly it can just appear, and we're not away with the fairies?
No, we're not. Trust me, some of the stuff we've done, this is high science in comparison. But as you point out, there's a few issues with some of the bits and pieces. So again, I'm pitching around a 2 or a 3. I'm going to ask for a 3, fully expecting to be knocked down. The reason why, it acknowledges things. Look, it acknowledges things like pressure, differentials, and stuff like that. I mean, the only reason it managed to survive under the bottom is because of the hand wavium shields, but they understand that's an issue. They have issues with making the thing airtight again before we go out into space, because again, it's been idle for a long way. They've got to bring it back to life bit by bit. It's not like push a button, everything works. In fact, most of the first 2 seasons are basically focused around just getting the ship back into a state where it can go out.
And it must have used an absolute shit ton of kitchen roll, just mopping all that water up.
Oh, you have no idea. I mean, basically, yeah, and that's why you needed 400 people. It was just to mop the decks.
Yeah.
In addition, again, it's one of the first shows which really deals with things of power consumption, that these ships use a lot of it up. It does a lot better than Voyager ever did in those respects.
Don't keep
and again, we don't have any replicators. We don't have holodecks. We've got holograms, but slightly different. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to ask for a 3.
It's just the whole thing of everything being down to the shields. The shields can do everything. It's impervious to everything. It can make the entire station fly. It's just
the shields. The shields effectively are just it's the bubble holding the thing together. I'd use the comparison of Deep Space Nine moving through a wormhole, but since you never watched Deep Space Nine, that's kind of lost.
I did watch the first 3 seasons. You patronising bastard.
Oh, well, then you'll know what I'm talking about then.
Yes, I do.
My point is, the shields aren't the be-all and end-all. When they're working, they're bloody brilliant. But again, a lot of the whole first 3 seasons they needed to get the things working to get them up to speed. And, once they get them there, that's fine. We can use this, but, you don't have the shields, you can't do it. It's a case of we can't do the hand-wavium thing until we get the other hand-wavium working.
Okay.
It's consistent in its own lack of logic.
You know what? Whatever. 3's fine by me. I mean, unless anyone else wants to really argue this point.
I need a comparison just because I'm not...
Well, we gave Babylon 4 a 3. We gave The Pillar of Autumn from Halo. Roger Young got a 3.
Hold on. The Valdor.
These are all big bricks, basically.
The Valdor from Nemesis. The big swingy wing Romulan ships. They got a 3.
Yeah, but they got cloaking devices,
But they
isn't
weren't
it?
under the sea for millennia and didn't travel insane distances.
Yeah. The travel. I was going to say the instantaneous galaxy jump is a bit of a...
Yeah, that's a bit magic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, again, it's not instantaneous. It's several hours.
But you were arguing earlier it was instantaneous because that's the bloody score you wanted, mate, your bloody minder.
Oh, I'm getting a headache. I'm getting one of those moods. My eyes are filling with blood. Oh, shit.
I've got a nosebleed all of a sudden. No, my point was that it might be from your perception instantaneous if it's travelling over 100,000 light years as opposed to 13 billion light years. And as I recall, I got knocked down to the 4 anyway. So,
right, okay. Well, distance between the Milky Way galaxy and Pegasus is 2.7 million light years.
Okay,
that travels that in several hours. So that makes that 2. So let's say. I tell you what. Let's make the maths easy. And do it doing do it at 2.7 hours, which means it travels 1 million light years an hour.
Oh, that's pretty good. So if it's doing that in 2.7 hours, it's effectively crossing the Milky Way galaxy in a second.
Yeah,
I'd call that pretty instantaneous myself.
Okay, so we'll add a point to your FTL and knock it down on science to 2.
Why? We've just been consistent in my science.
Really? It's instantaneous travel, which is as close to magic as makes no difference. So you look
just because it appears. I mean, light doesn't travel instantaneously, but from our perception, it is.
Yeah, but at this point, what they've done is not just bent the rules of physics. They've literally taken the rules of physics, folded them up into a very tiny little ball, and then set fire to it with a nuclear bomb.
To be fair, most of the time when we're dealing with FTLs and all that, though, we kind of have to just take that with a pinch of salt, just because half of our ships then are just going out the fucking window.
Well, exactly, but that's why half of them don't make it to 5s.
Exactly, they don't make it to 5s, but they're still in 3s or
science as a result.
Yeah, but most of them at 3s or 4s. Look, I think this is pegging it. I mean, the Pastor got 3.
Oh, good lord!
The Pastor shouldn't have got very much score for anything. It is a bollock.
The Nubian J327 got 3.
Yeah, but that's a Star Wars.
Trek will get
the Borg Cube got 3.
Doesn't have travelling across the Milky Way in a second.
Well, except for the Borg, possibly.
Transwarp. Oh god.
Mm.
Okay, you know what? For the sake of argument, I'm just going to go 3. I'm not even. I can't. I just can't.
You can mark it as grey. We'll make a note.
I'm not happy going with a 3 if we've upped the score for instantaneous. You've got to make a choice. Either you have a 5 for your instantaneous and a 2 for science, or a 4 for your instantaneous and a 3 for science.
No, because I've got a 4 for FTL at the minute anyway. But no, that's not the point entirely. From your perception,
it is the point.
It's not the point. It's because your perception is
why Andy's ships do so well is because you give up after a while.
Yeah, it's not worth the fight, believe me.
I've got a website called GIF of the Day. I'm looking at it.
You realise I only have 4 on the FTL. I mean, you've won on that.
Right, we're still on 4
for the argument. That's fine.
That was kind of the point.
If that's the point we were making, if we're still on 4 for FTL, 3 for science is okay.
And you won't be at the pub when I fight with these guys next time, so it'll be up for it. That's fine. So it's fine. I'll take the 3 for now, and we'll deal with it later.
Welcome to the Why Are Mummy and Daddy Fighting podcast. Right, okay, here we go. Cool factor. Now, in the case of having 4 people on cool factor,
I always get this wrong.
Andy gets 4 points. Every one of us gets 2 points.
2 points.
So we can go between 0
I
and
always
2.
get this wrong.
3 times 2 is 6 plus 4.
There you go. So there you go.
Yay!
So, Andy, what would you like to give this thing in cool score?
I'll give it 3.
Okay, so 3. Anne-Marie.
I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it 2. I love the idea of flying around in a city and being able to live under the sea at the same time. That's awesome.
Okay, so a full score so far for the Disney ship. So, right. What about you, Pete?
I'm going to give the special snowflake a 1.
Can't say that. There'll be emails. There'll be emails. I'm gonna give it a 1 as well because I don't like this thing at all. I'll be honest.
Really?
With you. I don't. It just seems like it's like almost the Jub Jesus ship all over again. It's just like it just gets powerfuler and more powerfuler and more powerfuler, and then when they need to make it even more powerful, they open up a new bit of the station and go, "Oh, we've just plugged in a new Duracell battery, and now it can do this." And it just, for me, the idea, the initial idea is good, so I'll give it 1 point. But the endless MacGuffinness of the whole thing is just winded me up by the end of the season. By the end of the season I finished watching, which was I think season 2, and I was just like, oh, what can it do now? Oh, it can fly. Oh, what can it do? Oh, it can blow up ships with a single
To be fair,
shot.
it didn't fly until much later, but I'd take your point.
But it just kept getting more and more powerful. By the end of it, I just thought they were going to like drag the Earth somewhere else so that the Goa'uld couldn't find it, because that's a TARDIS press a button and things happen. Harry Kim maneuver. I've pressed this red button and now it can dispense blowjobs with nothing more than a laser beam. And we have rendered everyone happy in a single shot. Anyway, there you go. So 7 points for cool. And that gives it 64 points. Which means that it's bumped off the Peacekeeper ship. And
how'd you like them apples, Dave? How do you like them apples?
And now it's sitting there at 10th place with 64 points. There you go. Well, congrats, Andy.
Here's a heads up for later. My turd, it's not going to score that highly.
Well,
are you going with the Elton gambit?
Yeah, the Elton maneuver. The
I know.
The madness maneuver. Yes.
No, I was literally bringing the ship I've brought up for amusement value. I don't know where it's going to end up in the table, other than not that high.
Okay. Well, right. Well, I guess I better do mine then. Congratulations, Andy. 64 points, right at the bottom of the top 10.
Thank you.
And let's get on with mine. He says, desperately trying to open up all these different tabs he had stored away. Right, okay, here we go. This is Talyn from Farscape. Now, Talyn is a Leviathan gunship hybrid. And it's probably easier to explain what a Leviathan is to start with. A Leviathan is basically a creature, a biomechanoid spaceship that can move freely amongst the stars and shared much the same attributes as artificially constructed starships, including internal atmospheres, command centres, living quarters, workshops and hangar decks and so. But no two Leviathans were completely the same. Anyway, so basically there was this Leviathan that was found by John Crichton called Moya. And what it did, somewhere around about, I think it was season 1, the end of season 1, is it turned out that the ship was actually pregnant, and Moya had been kept by the evil, nefarious peacekeepers, and they had basically manipulated the child inside to give birth. So basically, when Moya gives birth to another ship, the ship that she gives birth to is an actual warship version of a Leviathan, the first ever, and that, as was named, Talyn. And so, Talyn was a male peacekeeper Leviathan hybrid gunship, a living ship that was the progeny of the Leviathan Moya. It was named after the peacekeeper rebel Aaron Sun's father, And basically, it was a hybrid experiment by the evil peacekeepers, which was done while in captivity. A synthetic simulant contraceptive was placed into Moya by a guy called Tam Valarek, who was the leader of the experiment. And then it was released by Carl Drago. Oh, God, anyway, I'm not going to do these fucking names. They do my nutting. Anyway, so Moya gives birth to it. It's a bloody great big ship with weapons. In its infancy, the baby had a few disagreements with his mother and refused to talk to her. And Moya felt that the peacekeeper should talk to him. And basically, Erin's son took over for a while. That's when they worked out that the contraceptive, the Talyn was contaminated with DNA from a weapon. And so it then turned out this thing could actually organically produce a weapon itself called the Sonic Ascendancy Cannon, which, without getting into too much Farscape obbly-jobbly wibbly-wobbly bollocks, is essentially a one-shot capital ship killer without even so much as breaking a sweat. This caused difficulty for Moya when being born, because the ship was kind of all different sizes. Unfortunately, Talyn was also emotionally unstable and was panicked easily, despite being a tiny ship that could destroy pretty much anything. Talyn also has multiple weapons emplacements, but also internal weapons emplacements down corridors, and a number of internal defensive weapons to repel boarding parties. Powerful enough to kill a Scarran, which, if you can imagine a huge walking dinosaur, that's pretty much it, with redundant elements so that, you could shoot an arm off and it'd still keep coming at you. So anyway, Talyn is Talyn needs an organic pilot to connect with it, though not the same way as Moya does, because Moya has to have this thing kind of embedded in it, pilot. And Talyn is regarded as one of the most advanced ships ever created. Not only is he more powerful than the standard Peacekeeper gunship, also more manoeuvrable, better sensors, and a number of other factors. But as a living ship, he can also automatically heal himself over time without having to put into dry dock. He also comes with his own DRDs, which are like internal droids that will also fight on its behalf. Scutters, yeah, but killer scutters. And it was widely anticipated to be one of the more powerful starships in the Farscape universe if it reached maturity. Sadly, at the end of Season 3, Talyn sacrificed himself to save the crew of the Moya, and captured and disabled while dock a command carrier, which was the thing that Dave brought last time. So basically, it basically blew up a command carrier. And
we're probably giving Dave a kicking this week, aren't we?
Yeah, poor old Dave. And not only that, it used its own FTL starburst drive within a carrier to destroy it, causing a massive energy shockwave that consumed the carrier and the fleet around it. So, there you go. I think that's about it, really. I'll leave it there. It does, before anyone brings it up, even though it needs to be bonded with a creature, Talyn itself has like a little sort of artificially placed cockpit, which means it needs a human pilot at least, though it is capable of carrying more people. So, there you go. Should we rate this bugger? Because this is going to be an interesting, weird one, I think.
Okay.
So, first off, its size. It's 500 metres, so it's half a kilometre in size, and it's not fully mature. Moya was 1.5 kilometres.
Still a growing lad, isn't it?
So he's still growing. So 500 metres, that's a 5. Its sublight is kind of weird. It acts like a fighter in many cases, but if you can think of something that's 500 metres long that's flying around like a fighter, we're into sort of weird White Star territory here, in the kind of case of the way it acts and the way it manoeuvres and the way it speeds about and just kind of...
So it's fairly big, not enormous, but fairly big, but behaves like something much smaller?
Yes. Yes.
No, White Star's a good frame of reference for me.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty much.
It depends on the episode and who was rendering the White Star at the time.
Yeah. We're not going to get into that. Let's not do that argument again. But in terms of giving you a frame of reference for how this thing acts, a White Star's a pretty good kind of marker there. So so for flying about, it wouldn't reach light speed because it would starburst if it needs to go to light speed, so it would never go as fast as light speed. So I'm going to ask for a 4. I don't know if anyone's got any reference for this, but basically, as far as I'm concerned, it would get as fast as something going to light speed, like the Peacekeeper carriers and what have you, but they would always outrun it, and it would have to go to starburst to catch them up.
Yeah, 4's fine with me.
Does that work speed-wise?
Pete?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wake up.
Yeah. Okay. Now, here we go again. Starbursting. This is the FTL we're into.
Isn't that what they called opal fruits?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yes. Bloody opal fruit. Now this
starbursting across the universe. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's not it. No, stop. So, anyway,
it's because Anne-Marie's here.
See, we're influencing things. You see, it's good.
Yeah. So, starbursts. Right. Okay. Here, let's go through starbursting. It's a method of propulsion used by leviathans to cover great distances quickly. It comes in one of 2 modes. Yeah. Normal operation, which the leviathan moves round conventionally, which is what we've already discussed. But also, what it then does is it's used to open a gateway through space and time that allows the leviathan to basically travel through one dimension and out the other almost instantaneously.
Well, you're jump driving, aren't you?
Exactly. So it is jump driving, but I was going to say it's effectively doing the Galactica style jump.
I was going to say it sounds a bit Galactica.
Yeah, I mean, you're not traveling through the subspace, you're disappearing from point A and appearing at point B. That's Galactica.
Yes.
And it sounds like you're limited on your distances and stuff, aren't you?
You are limited on distances.
I mean, it's not you're not at your 5s, you're at your 4s. So
yeah, on 4. And the other thing is also it is also extremely difficult to maintain, so it can become unstable, as they found out in an episode called Bad Timing. But we'll talk about that another time if we have to. So yeah, I was going to ask for a 4 on FTL.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So then we move on to maneuverability. Now this thing will literally turn on a dime at very, very, very high speeds. I don't think it's quite White Star, and I don't know what we put down for White Star. I think we put 5, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
So I'm going to ask for a 4 on that as well, because it's not quite Babylon 5-y kind of stop, turn, spin off and shoot away at like...
Did you mean stop, collaborate and listen?
Yeah, stop, collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. My town that's created all the bass sounds. No, anyway, so I was going to ask for a 4 on that as well.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
I love bringing a ship that absolutely no one has any frame of reference. They have to rely on me being very, very honest. Okay, one-shot capital ship. One-shot capital ship, so that's a 10. And that is proven. And I even had the clip ready to rock and roll.
I saw the clip, so I mean, unless people want to see it, yes. It grew a turret and blew up a ship.
Yeah,
cool.
and then they made some double entendre about he's a growing lad. After and his turret.
I do think we should take a point away for that.
No, and his turret's definitely getting bigger. Right. Anyway, so active defenses. Well, here we go. This is going to be the tricky bit. See, because it doesn't have shields per se, but
that's passive.
That's passive,
active,
but it does have guns all over itself, and it can just fire in pretty much every direction. But I guess that doesn't really count. No, actually, I tell you what, forget that argument. I'm not even going to do that because I don't think I can make that fly.
Well,
so
you've got your starburst is 1.
Yeah, but that comes under special. Fine.
Well, then you've got maneuverability.
Oh yeah, I've got 1 for maneuverability. So good, glad you remembered that one. Yeah, that's about it really.
That is probably about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Passive defenses. again, it's just got a really thick hull and it can repair itself, but the repairing
Well,
is
it's
under special.
bio armor. It's kind of like Vorlonish, maybe not as strong as Vorlon stuff, but you're in that kind of territory, aren't you?
Is the self-repair a special, though?
Yeah, I think that's a special. I think it's
Self-repairs are special, but it's still pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it does take a pounding. I mean, it will take a pounding quite. Yeah, but it will take a pounding from a Peacekeeper command carrier, which, as I found out the other day, has
10 for firepower.
It has a 10 for firepower, so it can take a whack. So you can take a
whack.
whack.
What were you pitching for on the old passive?
I was only going to go for something sort of mid table. I was going to go for a 3.
Yeah, I'm alright with a 3.
Pete,
Cool. Yeah, cool.
You really have no reference at all.
Nope. I've seen pictures. That's it.
Yeah, basically, imagine a really thick armor that can take a pounding. But okay, so in the case of special, here we go. So we have onboard killer robots, DRDs.
Yeah. What does DRD stand for?
Oh god, that's a good question. And my brain's not working. Hold on. DRDs, red DRDs, diagnostic repair drones. But
that doesn't sound very offensive.
No, but that's what they stand for in the Leviathans. But actually, what the ones in Talyn were weaponized, so they had red DRDs. See, Moya had yellow and largely benign DRDs, and Talyn had red ones with powerful anti-personnel weapons and guard-type DRDs, which were used to board Scarran bases and ships called Sentinels. But anyway, there you go. I can send you the link if you like. But anyway, yeah. So so killer robots. That's one special.
Internal turrets.
Internal turrets, which is 2. Self-healing armor, which is 3. Not crew, because it usually only has between like 1 or 2 people, and they really aren't like what I would call a battle force. So I'd leave it there. Actually,
Starburst.
Sorry, that was the other one. Yeah. So that's a 4 because
you effectively blind the person while you run away.
Well, you're not just blinding them. Not just blinding them. You're actually using it as an offensive weapon. When Talyn fires it off inside the Peacekeeper carrier.
Oh, well, that's effectively self-destructing.
No,
or overloading your engines inside it.
Yeah, but the shockwave.
Does it like create a shockwave?
Yeah, it creates a shockwave that takes out like the fleet around it. So there you go.
So you're going one way and you're actually moving your opponent in the opposite direction at the same time.
Yeah, or if you're inside it, you're creating a massive wormhole and a blast wave once you go through. So there you go. But anyway, so that's 4 for special. Under crew, now crew, really, you only need 1 person. There's no, but it'll work better with 4 or any of that stuff. It is just 1 person.
Just 1.
So that's a 1. Now, competence is a different kettle of fish. Because with competence, Talyn's had like 3 like main pilots over the course of the series, and none of them were what I would call good. In a nutshell. Yeah, oh god, I've lost my bloody page. No, it's all gone horribly wrong. Right, okay. So, yeah, we had who do we have? Well, we had the Peacekeeper Krace, who is basically fucking nuts. Basically, he's a peacekeeper, and he's nuts. He's just yeah, he's a bit. Yeah. Well, he's
not your poster child. Is what you're saying?
Man.
No.
What goal do we give competence for mad people?
Krace, Stark, and Arian's son.
Aaron's son.
Yeah, Aaron's son. So they're your 3.
She's only in it really to kind of calm Talyn down when he's first born, and because Talyn's kind of got peacekeeper stuff in him, he's kind of only to listen to peacekeepers, and she's like the rebel. She's left the peacekeepers. She's opposed to them.
Yeah, I watched. I think it was season 1 and 2, and then randomly season 4 of Farscape.
Yeah.
Having missed season 3 and was slightly confused by it. So I do know a little bit about it. I have some frame of reference, but I haven't watched it since it aired and didn't watch it in order.
Well, Aronson is basically played by Claudia Black.
Yeah.
And to cut a long story very short, she's rock hard and pretty fucking lethal at everything.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
So she would be. I would put her as a 4 for crew competence. Blair Crace is nuts, but nonetheless a very competent military commander. So I would put him.
I think I remember him.
He's the one who's got like a ponytail and a goatee beard and a very uptight kind of guy, and he would be a sort of 3 or a 4. But then we have Stark, and Stark was the guy who ended up getting Talyn killed. And he's
that's not clever.
No, and he's a bit just out there. He's just a bit out there. He's got sort of like half his face missing and under a metal plank, and he's a bit wishy-washy, and he's just rubbish. Basically, he's got survivor's guilt from surviving from peacekeeper atrocities to his people.
I thought you were going to say to his penis then.
Well, he could have done. Maybe he did. So, he would be a 2 for me. So you've got a 2, a 3, and a 4, and a 3 is kind of a 3 going on 4, but he's nuts. So
I'd be happy with a 3 all told, because like you said, there's a bit of a spread across them. But again, just reading up on here, because I watched Farscape a little bit, but I'm not that au fait with it. But it says here effectively Talyn can influence the pilot to a certain extent, so
yeah, it can, but
it can disagree.
It can disagree, but that's a bit of a problem as well.
Well, I just think 3 again. You're kind of middle of the road. Nothing spectacularly stupid. Nothing spectacularly brilliant. It's just
that's about
middle of the road.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's a 3. Right. Okay. Moving on to exterior realization. It's mid 90s CGI again, and not
again. Could you do me a favour and put a link in the show notes, because we weren't able to distinguish very easily between.
I'm on it now. Hold on one second.
Show and not.
Well, that's the problem. You can't really tell because what you see of Talyn usually is in the dark a lot of the time, and so you really don't. You don't really get to see a hell of a lot of it. Okay, let's find one where.
I got one.
Yeah, hold on.
I got one from the show. So this is from the show.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got 1 or 2 from the show, but
I'm quite happy if you want to throw just a shot of the ship, like a free view so you can see it better. Because again, I think realization should incorporate.
Actually, you put up the same one I did.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's season 3. That's season 3 Talyn. When they actually spent a little bit of money on it, and even then you can't really see what the fuck's going on. It's not really all that. I was gonna at best ask for a 3, but to be honest, it's not really an awful lot you can see. The problem with it is Farscape goes for let's do mean and moody, and then 5 minutes later decides to do loud and mad. And the problem,
kiddies program,
yeah. So you don't really get. You either get something which is almost in total darkness, or lit up like a Christmas tree and looks bananas. So either way, it doesn't really work out particularly well in terms of how it looks.
Yeah.
So I was going. In fact, I might looking at it myself and just. I'm going to ask for a 2. Actually.
I'm happy. I'm happy with a 2, just because I'm not a huge fan of the design, let alone how it's realised.
I think it's quite nice design. But
I prefer the Moya. The Moya has more of a softer, organic shape with the way. I know it's still it's young and growing and all this. This just kind of. There was a really terrible CG animated series when I was a kid called War Planets. And this just looks like something out of that.
Yeah. Not surprised. Okay, right. So that's 2 for exterior. For interior, there weren't a lot of sets in Talyn, but the ones that were in there were quite good, and I was going to ask for a 4, but I'm trying to find...
we looked at those, didn't we?
Yeah, and I mean, what seemed to be the bridge, and it didn't look all that.
Can you share some?
One of those times when we nearly had an argument, wasn't it, really? Because you were not impressed and I was.
I'm trying to find some now, but they seem to all involve having Crace standing there looking posy.
Yeah,
in
those
the
are the
middle
ones
of...
we saw, and
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah, hold on.
I mean, it looks like...
Hold on. It looks like a Klingon ship.
Well, again, it's only
Kind of
missing
vibe.
the...
I think it's because
But
of the
without
red.
the smoke to cover up the problem.
Well, actually, hold on. Hold the line caller, because here it comes. Here's your let's
Is this Talyn?
hold on. Yeah, that's Talyn, but that's really only sort of, you only ever see that corridor at like last minute. That's kind of like when it was about to blow up.
Oh my God! It's the Brotherhood of Nod.
Yep. Oh, you what? The one I just sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a look
Kane lives.
yeah. So if you look at that, yeah, exactly. But if you look at that, that's kind of where we are with it. So I was going to ask for a 4, but if I end up with a 3, I guess I'll be all right.
I would say 3, only in so much as what you see there is okay, but you don't see a lot outside of the pod and one corridor. I think if you saw more at that quality, that's fine, a 4. I think because it's very limited what you do see, I'd be leaning more towards a 3. That's just my thoughts.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I was thinking more 3.
Okay. Well, that's fine. 3 it is then. I'm not really in a position to argue with it because I know I wasn't terribly super duper impressed with it anyway. So that's a 3. Okay. So science. It's an organic ship which fires laser beams out of its arse to fly through space at instantaneous speeds.
A sonic cannon through space.
Oh, well, the sonic cannon through space, and it can create wormholes using its butt.
You remember we were talking about Away with the Fairies earlier?
Yeah, I think it's totally Away with the Fairies. I think 1 is about as good as I can ask, and that's purely because it's there.
Do we have a frame of reference for living ships? I'm just wondering. If
Shadows.
8472 got a 1.
Yeah, Shadows. Where's the Shadows?
So generally 1 for living ships.
Yeah, generally.
Yes, for no particular reason.
Yeah, you spotted that, did you? Fair enough.
Battle Crab got a 1.
Yeah, Battle Crab got a 1. White Star got 2, which I'm quite pleased with now.
That was meant to be just... That's not fully organic, though. That's just organic armour, which, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
where does Pete's Vorlon shuttle go?
He's Vorlon Twaddle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, the Vorlon Transport. That got a 1.
Yeah, I think 1's where you're at with that, yeah.
Fair enough.
Zerg Leviathan got a 1 as well. So, yeah, cool. Okay, so that's a 1. Cool factor. Right, well, I've got 4 points to give. I'm going to give this 3 because I actually think this is really cool looking ship. It's black and red, and it's got can grow guns. It's got a bit of an attitude with it. It's alive. I mean, it's in terms of spaceships on TV in sci-fi, there aren't many that are all of those things, and I think it's quite cool. So I'm going to give it 3. Not the coolest thing I've ever seen, but 3 nonetheless. So, what about you, Andy?
Okay, I'm going to preface this by, this is nothing personal, and I'm not doing this just to kick you.
You're going to give it a 0.
I'm going to give it 0. I don't get on with Farscape, and I just don't like this ship.
Nice.
It's nothing, again, maybe if I watched more of it and had an affinity to it, but yeah, I've just never gotten on with Farscape.
No, that's fine. I completely understand because I never finished Farscape either myself. So I'm completely understanding that. So that's a 0. Okay, what about you, Pete?
I'm going to give it a 1 because it's all right.
It's all right. 4. Okay. What about you, Anne-Marie?
I love it. It's totally my aesthetics.
Yeah.
So 2.
2.
It looks vaguely Klingon, otherwise.
No, it does. Yeah. No, but it does, though.
Yeah, if the Klingons were in Babylon 5, they would fly something like this.
Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 1 because I'm looking at I'm pretty sure it's a fan render, but it's like a top and bottom and side view. And I quite like the NARM paint scheme they've got on this one. I don't know if that was always the case, but it looks good there. So.
No, it's always had that. It's always had
All right,
that.
well, there you go. You can have one then.
Oh,
Just for the red paint scheme.
Well, there you go. So there you go. So that's that. So 7 points for Cool, which gives it 52 points in total for Talyn. There you go. Fairly reasonable score, I think, all in. That's not bad. I can deal with that. So 52 points puts that at Talyn is under the Shadow Intent, a Centauri Primus, and slightly better than the Liberator and the White Star. Which is
I guess that's. I mean, it's just below the Jaquan as well.
And slightly above the Doniger.
Mm.
Yeah. So there you go. Right. Well, there you go. So that's that. 52 points. Not in the top 10, unfortunately. But hey-ho, not a bad showing all in. And so now it's time to move on to Pete's one.
Okay. I kind of feel like I ought to get Lee to introduce this just because he struggles so much with pronouncing it. But there we are.
Oh, what, the Jerkoff ship?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well done.
I thought it was the Jaggeroth.
Yeah, it's Shaggar's Jerkoff ship.
That's it. Shaggar's Jerkoff ship, as it's well known in fan circles.
He even wrote "Get it right, Lee" on the bloody page. Get it, Shaggar's jagging jogger.
Scaroff's Jaggeroth ship.
That what she said.
I prefer Shirker's Jerker.
You prefer a jerk off every time, I know. But
who wouldn't? Right, we carry on.
From 1979's Tom Baker story City of Death, credited to one David Agnew, but heavily rewritten by then script editor Douglas Adams, and it shows. Certainly the wittiest of Who stories, I think it's fair to say. It also features a cameo by one John Cleese, bizarrely, at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Scaroff himself is a one-eyed, spaghetti-faced alien.
It's terrible. It really
it's
is
a rubbish
bad.
mask.
He looks like a fucking broccoli in a suit.
He's played by the awesome Julian Glover, though, so we give him a pass for that.
When he's human rather than spaghetti-faced.
Well, he's still, I think, under the mask. But
really?
Anyway, yes.
Okay.
He's the last of the Jaggeroth, a largely self-inflicted situation since his decision to engage his ship's warp engines whilst in the Earth's atmosphere at the dawn of time led to the craft blowing up on takeoff, killing his crewmates.
So it crashed?
Yeah, well, it
That's
didn't
why
crash.
he's taking it.
It blew up.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
His crewmates themselves were the last survivors of a war the Jaggeroth clearly lost in a big way because their home planet got destroyed, so...
I can't help but think that might hurt his competence later on.
I suspect that might affect it.
We're not going to be scoring highly there, but there we go. Scaroff himself was splintered through time through some wibbly-wobbly means, but retained psychic contact with his various selves who worked to perfect a time machine that would enable him to reunite himself and prevent the explosion he originally caused. The sting being it was the explosion that started all life on Earth. Bam, bam, bam.
So this is going to score well for science, then?
Yeah.
That too.
Oh, by the way, I was also going to mention that up until the bit about starting off the universe, that sounded like the plot to the 2009 Star Trek film.
I wouldn't know. I've only watched that twice.
One more time more than me.
Will the Doctor stop him? Well, of course. Mainly thanks to the idiot detective travelling with him, punching Scaroff's lights out at the end. Spoilers there. It may not sound very promising, but it combines fantastic even, Adams dialogue, with location shooting in Paris, which is cool, and some of the best model effects seen in original Who. Oh,
this should be good.
Well, yeah. Damning with fake brain, anyone?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've just included I'm assuming a picture to the aforementioned model effects.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. What is that?
Oh, hang on, I've got to...
It's all right.
It
takes us a bit of time to look at anything because we have to make sure we don't accidentally unplug the microphone.
But yes, that's it. Yep.
It looks like a fondue pot for a Ferrero Rocher.
It's basically a spider, but with not quite so many legs.
It's like a less good version of the thing from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
You know, there's that Bond movie. I always forget its name.
The spy who loved
and he
me.
rides on the really old, massive CCTV camera.
Yep.
That's the massive old CCTV camera, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the spy who loved me.
Good. I'm glad we got that out of our system.
No.
When it powers up, it's got a fantastic rotating midsection, which I remember saying about the Dalek ship and then getting kicked for that. So never mind. and those sexy spider legs, they move.
Sexy spider. What is wrong with you?
I'm trying to build it up.
Don't worry. When I get
it's just more. It's further to fall, mate. It's just further to fall.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? When I get moving and get my sexy legs going, my midsection won't stop either.
So I hear. Oh, so there we go. Let's find out how the best the series has to offer is going to rate. Size doesn't start well, it has to be said, because we don't exactly know precisely. Although, as you've that particular picture you've put up there, at least gives you some idea of scale in proportion to the TARDIS. And you can see it's not mightily bigger, it has to be said.
No, Dougal. That is very close. That is far away.
It's not that, believe me, it's not that far away. It's about 5 times the height, I'd say. But even so, bottom line is it's going to end up scoring 1 for this because it's not huge.
Right. And also because we don't really...
No. So they're two nicely combined into one happy package that we can all agree on.
Lovely. Okay, this will be good. I almost need some popcorn for this. But carry on.
Go.
Go on.
Speed.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, its sublight drive is broken.
So that's 0.
That's why they attempt to take off from the planet with warp drive, which is never a good idea, is it?
So yeah, go on.
We've got no idea what crazy speed she could pull off back in the day when it worked properly. So we've got to give that a 1 for unknown.
But no, we've got to give it a 0 because it doesn't have a sublight
speed. It did
speed.
have one originally, but it's broken.
So there's 0.
Broken?
Well, but it had one when it was originally built as originally intention, because otherwise they'd be constantly blowing up whenever they took off.
Yeah, we've got to give him 1 here, Lee, because otherwise every other episode of Next Generation, when the Enterprise breaks down for God knows whatever reason.
Yeah, but breaking down is not the same as having no engine. That's
yes, but it doesn't have an engine. It's just broken.
It did have an engine. It was broken.
Okay, I'll give you the 1. I'll be generous.
FTL, we know that she has one because that's what causes the problem in the first place. It's referred to as being a warp drive, but that possibly is stretching matters if you then say, oh, well, that's the same as Trek warp drive, because we've got no evidence of that whatsoever. So we know it's got an FTL drive, but we don't know what it is, so that's another 1.
Hey, you're really cooking through today.
I thought Anne-Marie was doing a McManus manoeuvre, but
well, I did it ninja style, you see, under the radar.
Nice. Go on.
Maneuverability. She takes off and wobbles a bit before exploding. That's possibly a 1 as well.
We're counting the wobble as a maneuverability. I love it.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Now, firepower. Being a warlike race, you'd expect it to be armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
But we've got no idea what, if anything, that it's got. So it's between 1 and 0 on this, because there's no evidence of what she's got. But they're supposedly been involved in a war. So she must have something, surely.
She could be an escape pod for all we know.
Firing its escape pods at people. Okay, novel, but
throwing Jeffrey accounts out the window.
Yeah, well, we've done that before now, haven't we? So,
I think that's a 1.
Cool.
Well, I think if it's unknown, it's 0, isn't it?
Well normally unknown is 1, isn't it? It's when it hasn't got it.
If we know for definite, it hasn't.
Just because you got a good thing going with these 1s, I'm happy to give it 1.
Exactly. This is really very much like a bit of a sort of a binary. Cool. That brings us on to defense. Active. Well, we stay with the binary theme, but have a bit of novelty here because it's 0 that we know about.
Nice. Doesn't get anything for maneuverability for the wobble.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, the wobble wasn't enough to score highly in maneuverability. Passive. You'll be surprised to hear we have absolutely no idea.
So
she certainly doesn't survive a massive internal explosion, but then what does?
I didn't.
I guess one for unknown on that front.
One for unknown, because it has structural integrity, I guess.
Yeah.
Special? Yes, it is.
Oh, it's very special.
It sounds it. Is he going to get anything more than one for anything?
Well, it's not getting anything for special because we don't know anything about it in terms of special. So
Wow.
0.
Well, yeah.
Okay, we're moving on to crew now.
Yes.
Haha. Scarroth talks about there being of a crew, and we hear their voices in his head, although that might just be him being mad. But we've got no idea how many there were, so 1.
Right. Is this the binary ship?
It is the binary ship.
It's the binars. They're just going to turn up. And,
Yeah.
Oh, don't. He's trying to persuade me to watch that for the fucking next time we do season bloody 1 Next Generation.
It's coming up in a few months.
I wrote fan fiction which had the binars being evolved into the Borg by Q.
Oh, you're not the only one either. I've come across that before now as well.
Oh.
Dear.
Well, that could have
way
gone
to
to
knock
the
me
worst
down.
place.
Well, no way to knock me down there, Pete. Thanks.
Well, it clearly is a genius idea because other people have come up with it, you see.
Oh,
Great minds think alike.
yeah.
All stupid people are telepathic.
Yeah, thanks for that.
That was before the internet, though.
Ah.
I wrote it in Wordsworth on my Commodore Amiga. Anyway, carry on.
Good for you.
So, competence.
Competence. You can imagine this is scoring highly, can't you? On the plus side, Scarroth managed to not only steal the Mona Lisa from the Louvre, he also gets Leonardo da Vinci to knock up another half dozen or so copies, which he then sells to anonymous bidders, helping him to fund his time travel experiments. So all good so far. He also claims to be behind key human achievements, such as the pyramids and the invention of the wheel. On the downside, he's directly responsible for the extinction of his own race.
That's going to take him down a couple of notches.
Yeah,
Plus the whole FTL inside the Earth's atmosphere seems questionable.
It's all his fault. So 0, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, that's fine. I'm down with that. So, exterior realization.
Okay, here's where I'm trying to pull out of the binary stage, and no doubt we'll get kicked back into it again. Because I think this is excellent work by the BBC special effects guys. I mean, if I was being hypercritical, the legs do wobble a bit when they fold in on takeoff. Probably been, pulled in by string. But I love the revolving centerpiece, and it's a very distinctive design. So I'm going for a 3.
Distinctive design.
You're going for a 3 for the CCTV camera from The Spy Who Loved Me.
You're going for a 3, you're talking to.
Wow. It literally just looks like someone's just scattered some Lego onto a ball.
It's better than that.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean, even that bloody thing that interrogated Princess Leia was better than this.
I don't know. It's worth you checking out on YouTube because it's literally the first few minutes of the story, so it may well be there. But you can actually see it in motion, which is always slightly better than still.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to pause this and we'll have a watch.
Good man.
There will now be a short intermission.
That was complete and utter fucking bollocks.
No, it was literally a bollock.
It's even worse when it's just actually movement. Those legs, they got no sense of weight whatsoever. It clearly,
they are a bit on the wobbly side.
The camera moved around it, and the fucking thing looked like it was just someone had got a novelty egg cup. I was waiting for someone to put a loaf of bloody bread beside it. Wow. And you wanted what for that?
3.
Fuck off.
He is mad.
Oh,
I should point
yeah.
this out.
Well, quite clearly.
Demonstrably now, yeah.
I mean, that's wow. 3 for essentially a tennis ball.
You can have 1 because it is realised. That is it.
That is rubbish. That
That makes the fucking Dalek 66 ship look like fucking shaft.
Yeah, well, I might actually, you know what? I might actually go and grey out the scores on the Dalek 66 ship.
No, it's still terrible.
Yeah,
it's
I know
just,
it's still terrible. But fuck me, that was bloody awful. That was.
Do you not let me have the 3 then?
It was a ping pong ball.
It's not a ping pong ball.
It is a black ping pong ball with a couple of legs that have been nicked off something made of Meccano, and the bit that's spinning in the middle, your thing that was spinning in the middle, you could barely see it. Barely see it.
That's YouTube for you.
No,
it's another fidget spinner, is what it is.
The fidget spinner's too good for this thing.
It is. Yeah, no, 1.
Yeah, no arguments there. What do you think, Anne-Marie?
1, I'm with you guys.
1 it is.
Okay. Well, you've seen the interior now as well.
Yeah, because I saw someone with a head that looked like an iceberg lettuce.
That's your Scaroff, yeah.
Yeah, sitting in something that looked like he was sitting in the Director General's chair of the BBC, and then it all went negative.
And it bears no relation at all to the exterior. It's like open to all sides. You can see out of it.
Yeah,
but there's no obvious place for that to be on the model. There aren't even any windows on the model, for crud's sake.
No, and
so that's why they crashed. They couldn't see.
Yeah, probably. So I think that I wasn't going to argue for anything other than 1 for that because it has an interior.
And you shall have
very
it.
Good.
You shall have that 1 with my pleasure.
Good.
Science.
Yeah, well, of course, the science of how Scaroff is splintered in time is very dodgy. But when it comes to the ship itself, there's nothing excessively odd because we don't see it do anything other than take off and explode. So I was going to ask for a midway 3 for that.
Now, I'm kind of torn here because he makes an excellent point there. But he's not scored more than 1 at any other point. And I'm like, do we really want to rate this streak at this point?
Well, it's going to be broken when we come to coolness anyway, clearly.
Yeah.
Well, it's only because if you don't play ball.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not magic.
It's not magic. It's not anything. It's just a ping pong
Yeah,
ball
the thing
fondue
is, though,
set.
and I don't know how much this counts, so bear with me, right? It's this ship blowing up that starts the evolution of life on Earth.
Good point. Well made. Time travel as well. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah, well, that whole thing about him being splintered in time, but to be fair, that's something to do with ship itself.
Yeah, but this ship exploding creates life on Earth.
Yeah.
Strokey chin, strokey chin.
Strokey chin. See, I'm torn between being really, really mean to Pete and being loyal to the actual format.
I think when it comes to the format, you've got to think,
we're going to
will there be a conversation in the future where you go, let's compare it to this ship? And if you might do that, if you might genuinely say, let's compare it to this ship, then you've got to take it a bit more seriously.
3 it is then. I mean, it isn't going to do anything horrible in terms of science. It takes off, It floats, it explodes. I think all these things are scientific principles we understand to be true.
Maybe in a way it's good for science just because it's so shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, to be fair, I did use that argument of 0x, pointing out that while it was aerodynamically unsound, it did crash every time it flew.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, there you go. So now it's time for the cool score.
All right.
So,
well, I've got 4, haven't I?
You have.
So I'm giving it 4 because I think it's cool.
I think diminished responsibility. Maybe we should take his points away from him.
No, they're his points. Let him have them.
Thank you.
Anne-Marie.
Not!
Anne-Marie, 0.
0.
Mark it 0. Andy?
Oh, you know what I'm going to give it.
Mark it 0. In which case,
what?
I shall give it 0.
I'm very disappointed with all of you.
Yeah. Which means, congratulations, Pete.
Yeah.
You are the second worst ship in the entire list.
After all that, it's only the second worst.
Oh!
It's the second worst, 16 points, being slightly better than the Zygons ship by 1 point.
Developing here.
Well, yeah, Doctor Who ships that fly through time and basically end up crashed or exploded.
Damn it! I've got one more to take.
Yeah. So there you go. So the Zygon ship. Yeah.
You're going to need to do the bottom 10 next time, aren't you?
We are 16 points in the bottom 10. There you go. The Zygons, just in case anyone wants to know, it's 15 points. So there you go. 1 point. Yeah. There you go. If you'd only been honest with yourself about your cool score.
That's what you could have done.
I do believe this is cool, though.
Sorry,
really?
he's deranged.
Oh, God, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've got nothing. I've really got nothing. Okay, well, there you go. So, with a glorious, sparkling 16 points, at which point Elton is now bashing the steering wheel of his car going, damn it, I wish I'd got that ship. 16 points. So, congratulations, Pete.
Thank you.
He's proud. He's proud.
I'm not proud of you lot, clearly. But...
I can hear the pride in his voice. Right, okay. So, without further ado, let's go to the next challenger for the bottom spot. The Tin Man from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Gomtu
The same to you.
Bless you.
was an intelligent life form that lived in space for several millennia up until the 24th century. It survived the near extinction of his race and may well have been the last of its kind. It seemed to have been born. That's in inverted commas because we don't actually know if it was born or manufactured or what. Far from Federation space, quite possibly in another galaxy. Upon its discovery by the United Federation of Planets and the Romulan Star Empire, it was dubbed Tin Man and the Star Creature, respectively. Now, then, the official Star Trek notes say, viewed from the exterior, Gomtu was a massive dark-coloured starship shaped like a sunflower seed shell. They are lying. It is a turd.
With glowy
You've got
fringes
a
in.
link or something you can put up.
They know what Gomtu looks
I'm
like. I'll
looking
put it up on Twitter.
Yeah. Gomtu.
It is. It's a shit. It literally is a turd.
Yeah, I'm also looking at a collectible version of Gomtu.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
You
you
can buy a poo.
You can. It looks like something that Tufty the squirrel would have shat out after eating a particularly difficult pine cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nutty and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
God Almighty. Yes.
Yeah. So apparently, its interior cavity consisted of a series of chambers and corridors
Pretty much
with
like mine.
gravity and atmosphere to support carbon-based life forms as crew. But when you actually watch it on the show, it's the cave set redressed. And very occasionally, when Tamo Elbrun, who I'll come on to, when he touches the ship, it actually literally behaves like shit. And it moulds itself into a chair of shit for him to shit on. Sean Connery style.
Shitting on a shitty ship in a shitty chair.
He's shitting on a shit.
Shitting on the dock on the bay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah. And get this, right?
Mhm.
The sound design, it's a combination of whale sounds, fair enough, and a stethoscope recording the sound designer literally digesting pizza. So
Nice.
its sound design is your bowels and shitting.
Nice.
To be fair, if they were to do this today, they'd have probably done the exterior by sticking a camera up a guy's backside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is the shit ship. Just to get one thing out of the way early on, much earlier on, when you guys very first started Space Dock, you mentioned this ship as something that wouldn't be eligible because it was a living ship.
Yes.
But since then, you've done Kosh's transport. And this is very similar in that it is designed to have a crew. And actually, when in the episode we come across it, it's trying to commit suicide because it doesn't have a crew and has gone mad as a result.
He's mad, sir.
He's committed suicide because he's trying to commit suicide because it's realised it's in an early season of Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah, he's in one of the bad episodes of season 3, which is very shameful.
Yeah, with crimes against Aaron Jumpers, looking at that guy who's talking.
Oh, and pleated trousers as well.
Oh, the trousers are awful.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
There's all sorts of design crimes in this episode. There really are. But yes, it needs a crew to function. There are some things it can do on its own, but it needs a crew to function effectively. And I'll actually come on to that in more detail later when we look at some of the scores.
Right. I also put in the chat what the visual representation of what I look like looking at that thing, which I think you might appreciate. Wow. I mean, let's rate it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, go for it. So how big is this thing?
Well, using that comparator chart thing we referenced earlier in this episode,
yes,
it is 618 meters long.
Bloody hell. Okay, 618 meters.
That's one hell of a big ship.
618 meters. That's a 6. That's a 6.
Ooh.
So you are already within 10 points of Pete's ship. So keep going. Even if you get ones all the way now, you should be fine.
Cool.
Okay, sublight.
We don't know.
1.
1.
FTL?
We know it has warp because they reference it in the episode. It's a Trek episode, therefore you're looking at Trek warp, which I think is 2.
I believe so. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm not yawning at you. I'm just tired. I've been doing flooring. Anyway, okay, maneuverability.
Now, there are a number of occasions within the episode when it spins on a dime.
No, it spins on the spot.
It spins on the spot, yeah.
That's when Lee says spins on a dime, he's meaning white stars are going in one direction and now having a turn and going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Okay. But it still spins on the spot, which is pretty good for a big ship.
For a 600-meter ship, yeah. But it doesn't do that while flying. It literally just does that by standing still. And all ships
while firing, usually, actually. I don't know whether or not that makes a difference, but it does it while firing.
I mean,
I'd give you a 2.
Yeah.
At most.
Because we don't see it. We don't see how it maneuvers while moving. That was the problem I had with Elton, and he wanted a 5 for ET.
Oh, his 90-degree bloody turn.
Yeah, that was fun
for his rainbow.
Yeah, for his rainbow. But it's like, no, I'm trying to explain to him that it didn't actually fly. It just sort of changed direction while slowly moving left.
You watched the episode with me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was the point I was trying to make to you, is it was clearly part of its firing mechanism rather than the manoeuvre it was pulling.
Yeah, so it's not like...
On the isn't the same as traveling like that.
Okay, we don't see it travelling an awful lot at all,
That is your problem, really, yes.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Well, you don't know if it was its firing mechanism or if it just had to turn to point the gun.
Well, no, it spins,
so it's
in
every direction.
Effectively, it fires this wave
force
of 360-degree thing.
So it's deliberately spinning to create centrifugal force.
What was the one we did with the ropey CGI?
You've got to narrow it down for us from there.
The Death Blossom.
Yes. The was it the Starfighter, the Gunstar?
Yes, it's similar to that, but unlike the Starfighter, it's not actually sort of moving particularly when it does it. It's just sitting there going.
I'd say
it wants to commit suicide because the star's going to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
the
say
bottom line is we don't know how
out.
it is really, because we don't see it in flight doing that sort of thing. Because you're right, it's sitting there being rather depressed. It is the Marvin of the spacecraft universe.
Yeah. I'd say give it 2, but mark it as grey, and we can always
have a little argument.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. It's marked. Okay, firepower.
It one-shots a Romulan Diderex class.
That's a 10. That's a 10.
I'm beating him already, aren't I?
You've seen you surpassed him just with firepower and size, let alone speeds and all that kind of malarkey.
It's not a competition. This is a pure art form.
Yeah, this is understanding our fandom.
Defining the world of spaceships. We're pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, 125 of them so far, so that's not bad. Right.
All I would say about firepower, though, and you guys watched this recently, so I might be misremembering this, but weren't the Romulans sticking absolutely everything into their engines and effectively cooking all their other systems, so it was somewhat weaker than it would typically be?
No, they make reference to the fact that they won't be able to get back home again because they've fried their engines. But it's not to say that they've fried the shields as well, particularly.
No, there's no,
okay.
And you never see a power drain on the ship. It just kind of, they just kind
No,
of.
again, I haven't watched this since you guys did it on the broadcast, and
it's really not worth watching again. Believe me, having watched it again tonight.
Nice, nice. So okay then, so that's 10. So defense active.
Don't know.
I think it's a 0.
Yeah, I think it's 0.
I'm not sure what in your thing gets a 1 and what gets a 0, but I'm genuinely not aware of anything.
So does it shoot down anything coming towards it? Does it?
No, because nothing comes towards it. If that makes sense, you don't see that in the episode.
Yeah. So
well, the thing which blows up the Romulan thing. It is what it uses as a defensive measure, but we can't double dip, so it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Already had that in the
so I think it's an unknown. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a 0. Okay, and then on to passive defense like shields and.
Yeah,
hull.
we're told it has shields, and this is the Trek universe, so I'm going to ask for Trek shields,
which is a 4.
Oh, not all shields are created equal.
No, but we're also told very early on in the episode that this technology is beyond anything either the Federation or the Romulan Star Empire have ever encountered.
Which
so
is
if
why
anything,
they're
it's
trying to
going
get
to
it.
be better than what they've got.
But not perfect, I wouldn't have thought.
No, oh no, there's no evidence that it's perfect. I'm not asking for more than a 4. What I'm saying is they say they've got shields. We're using Trek as its own frame of reference, and they also say that this ship is significantly beyond their own technology, so I'm asking for a 4.
Andy, I'm fine with 4, but Andy?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that, yeah.
Cool, okay. Defense special.
Well, I don't know how it would help, but it does in a way in the episode. It's telepathic over incredibly long distances. Within the episode, Tam Elbrun is... I wrote this down, however many kilometres away he was, but insane amounts. 3.8 billion kilometres away. And at that distance, he is able, through this telepathic link, to warn Gomtu it's under threat. Right. And the ship takes action as a direct consequence.
So it can read the mind of the opposing force, is what you're saying?
Well, it can read the mind of a crazy person on the bridge, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But over very, very long distances. Which
is cool, but it's kind of... The only thing is it's kind of a little limited to as long as the other person can pick it up.
No.
Yeah, basically, this person is who becomes the crew. So if you think of it as a ship with crew, and the crew are a long way away, and the crew discover a threat, they can get that information to the ship and get the ship to respond over incredibly long distances.
Okay.
So I think it's worth special on that basis.
Okay. Can I throw you another bone? Pardon the phrasing.
Yeah.
If it can mould its interior, surely it can use that to inhibit and stop any internal, forces.
Yeah, that's hard to say because it doesn't get proved on screen. Because you just thought it'd have some sort of regenerative.
It could, for all we know, that chair could just be a recliner, but was kind of hidden in the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
The only thing you do see on screen is Tam, who it accepts as a member of its crew. When he puts his hand in the shit, it kind of absorbs his hand. And when Data, who it does not accept, goes to do the same thing, it's rock solid.
Yeah.
So it's obviously got some kind of internal defense mechanism where it will do things for its crew that it won't do for non-crew. And I don't know, the closest comparison I'm aware of is the Liberator. And I don't know whether you gave the Liberator any special for the same principle.
It's kind of like command codes, I suppose, though, isn't it? It's like the crew know how to access systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I totally take your point. I just don't think it's anything we've ever considered before.
No.
That's fine. I'm just asking. But as I said, for me, the closest frame of reference I have is the Liberator.
Okay. Well, that's that. I mean, I don't think we can do that now because I think once you get into that, you're suddenly talking about door locks and all sorts of stuff, and then we have to go through all of our ships.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that to you. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
That would be a week in the pub, and you'd have no livers left by the end of it.
What a shame.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm not feeling the downside here right now.
Well, on the downside, we have to revisit all of Pete's ships again.
Oh, God, no. Okay, fine.
All the more highly, obviously.
Moving on. Crew size.
1.
Yep. And competence.
Right. Now, this is where I need to ask for your help.
Mm-hmm.
Within the episode, in the majority of the episode, the ship and its crew, Tam, are separated. They're not together. Once they are together, you see that they are operating more effectively than they were separate, but there's really not a lot else you have to go on. So basically you've got a depressed Betazoid, right, who pisses everybody off on the ship, and a suicidal spaceship right next to a star that's about to go nova.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're separate and Tam communicates over that long distance and activates the ship's self-defense mechanism, he manages to hurt the ship that Tam is on as well, but that's because they're not together yet. When they are together and they're going to try and do something similar, which is defend themselves, the ship produces a shockwave that not only saves the ship itself, it also saves the Enterprise and separates the Enterprise from the Romulan warbird that was a threat to the Enterprise. So it saves everyone in one maneuver. So it's reasonably competent when it's operating when it should. But you've also got to take into account the fact that when they're separated, they're a bit crap. And the reason the ship is depressed and wants to commit suicide is because its entire crew died because of an explosion and it holds itself responsible. So what do you do with that information? Where does that go score-wise?
Well, for what it's worth, for my take on it, you can't really... If we're talking about the crew's competence, we can't really talk about the ship's competence.
Fine.
So it's really down to Tam, who, as you said, is manically depressed Betazoid, arrogant arse, who almost got himself and the Enterprise blown up.
When he's on the ship, he's healed, though. When he's on the ship,
we don't
relationship between ship and crew, he finds his home, and it's when they're united that when it sends out that shockwave that saves it and Tam and the Enterprise and the Romulans, and make sure neither the Enterprise nor the Romulans can find it, and neither the Enterprise nor the Romulans are sufficiently close to each other.
Oh, I'm pretty sure a week later that ship was right back at that star. 1 week with Tam Elvin, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm taking you with me too.
Yeah. Even more reason to do it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I hear what you're saying, but all we see it doing with Tam on board is, like you said, spin around and disappear.
No,
I don't think that's
shockwave that saves the Enterprise and the Romulan warbird from the impact of the star going nova.
But is that the ship making that decision, or is that Tam?
It's
Well,
the combination. This is a symbiotic relationship. It's the combination.
what point would you like for it? Where are you pitching?
I would go with a 3.
I was going to
personally,
say
just 'cause
3
it's-
mid-range
yeah.
because when they're working as they should, they are designed to work in symbiosis. When they're working as they should, they manage to do what they want to do. Their aim is to save the Enterprise, which they do by taking it away from the planet and away from the Warbird. And their aim is also to separate themselves from both of them, and they manage that as well.
Well, I tell you what, there's a little bit of backup for this. If you have a 3, that would put it into the same thing with symbiotic pilots as the Shadow Battle Crab and the Lex.
That works for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I would say about those other two, though, is we see a lot more of the Battle Crab and the Lex in that symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, but in terms of, I mean, what we never considered with either of those two, which is the one thing that I think maybe we need to grey those out now, is as the conversation we're having right now, which is what decisions are being made by the ship and what decisions are being made by the pilot.
Oh, you don't know. You can't separate it.
Exactly, and that's. I mean, you know, it's a discussion for another day. Maybe it's even a discussion for a mini-sode, but it's one of those things where you go, well, hold on. If we can't tell where the pilot ends and the ship begins, then who's making that judgment call? And who's
I'm happy to again, based on the Battle Crab and all that, go with a 3 and stick a grey mark on it. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of grey marks at the minute. There's a couple of
it
trips to
makes
the pub.
sense to me to be comparing this to the other symbiotic ships that you've mentioned. But if at a later date you decide you're going to score symbiotic ships differently, that would still be fair.
Yes. Yeah, that seems fair. Okay, cool. It's marked grey and got a competence of 3. Here we go. Let's go for realization exterior.
It's a turd!
Okay, and what would you be asking for with this turd, madam?
Literally because it's funny, and number 2.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
You can have that. You can have that with a bow and a smile on my face.
And
Nice.
Well played.
Well done. Okay, so that's a 2 for exterior. Interior.
It is the cave set from Next Gen, redressed with a little bit of cloth. Occasionally, when Tam touches the controls, it looks actually like shit. And then when it grows a chair, it literally looks like someone has moulded a turd into a chair.
Nice.
It's bad.
So what are you asking for with that then? Another 2?
I don't know.
You never revisit the same joke twice.
Yeah.
Comedy
Yeah,
comes
I mean-
in 3s.
I don't think it's that good.
No, I mean, for me, the question is whether because it's so, I mean, seriously, it's so bland. Everything looks the fucking same until it grows a chair. I honestly don't know whether this is a 1 or a 0. I mean,
It has an interior,
it
so
has
it
an
gets one,
interior,
yeah.
so I'm guessing it's a 1 because an interior exists. But believe me, you cannot fucking tell one room or anything else from another until it grows the chair of shit.
Right, to be fair, I just finished listening to the latest broadcast with the rant about this set from Data Law. So, yeah, a 1 is kind of where I think you need to be at.
Nice. 1 it is then.
Fair enough.
Science.
Yeah.
It's a living ship that looks like a turd and communicates over long distances with a mad person, and it grows a chair out of shit.
That'll be a 1 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to ask for a lot with that, really, am I?
Not really, no. So,
No. I mean, my only genuine question is, and it is a genuine question, should it be a 0?
I'm just wondering that as well. I'm just seeing what else we've pegged at 0s.
I mean, that's a genuine question of mine because it's so bad.
Benny's Lego ship, the Dark Star, the Life Force Vampire
The Enlightenment.
ship. Yeah, the TARDIS.
The Life Force Vampire, yeah, the TARDIS.
And the Narada. Actually, I think that's grounds for 0.
Yeah.
I
That.
mean, you know what I mean? What I've just,
Yeah.
probably is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a 0's because at least with say the Talyn, there's an attempt to explain some of it.
We don't really get that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, let's move on to cool factor. And you've got 4 points, Anne-Marie. What are you going to spend those 4 points on?
I'm going to give it a 1 for the specific reason that if you take away that it genuinely is a turd, I like the concept of a living ship that requires a crew in symbiotic relationship. So for me, it gets 1 point for the concept.
Okay. And Pete?
It gets 0 because it's Gomtu and it's a flying poo.
Andy?
Oh, 2 points, absolutely.
What?
No, what? 0.
It gets fuck all from me. in fact, it would get a minus number from me if it was such a thing possible. So
It is, in my opinion, the least cool ship we've had.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
It's a shit, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it's
But
not-
I think, didn't you not have a rule that if somebody brings a ship, they have to give it at least 1?
No, we discounted that,
we
so-
rescinded that rule.
yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, that
Yes.
rule.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I give it fuck all for being a fucking shit?
Yes,
You
you
can, yes.
And do you want to know?
Please?
Do you want to know the first time that happened?
Yes.
It was the USS Pasteur.
Yeah.
The fugly bollock.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So the Pasteur rule is being invoked, and it's got a 0.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. So 0 for cool. It's joined a very elite group, which is the Pasteur, the vampire ship from Life Force, and the GTVA Colossus. Nice. So that gives Tin Man, even as shit as it is, I hope you're sitting down for this, Pete, 33 points.
How many what?
33. So,
Bloody hell.
So basically, double the Jaggeroth Bollocky ship.
Jaggeroth's ship.
Whatever. It's double. It's double it. Well, it's double and a bit. Double and 1 point.
Well, for starters, it has far more visible firepower. So,
Wow. There you go.
You're around the Eagle Transporter, Discovery 1, the Prometheus from Prometheus,
Oh, God. Yes.
Lenny's Lego Starship.
Wow. So it's all just floating turds together. That's pretty good.
Kind of works.
It does work. It works. Right. Well, there you go. That's a thing that happened. Right. So there you go. So in the end, this episode comes to a close with at the very bottom of the scale is Arthur Scargill's Jaeger bomb ship with 16 points. The Tin Man Poo Machine, 33.
that was the album that David Bowie didn't bring out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tin Poo Machine. Talyn, the teardrop explodes with 52, and the Atlantis City ship Special Snowflake with 64. There you go. Oh, we're done. But we're not done yet, because we have to tell you what we're doing next time. So, I'm going to be bringing the Magog world ship from Andromeda.
You're dropping that bomb, are you?
I am dropping that bomb.
Okay.
I'm dropping that bomb. I am taking it. I'm taking outside. I am dropping it. Peace out. 5000 G world ship bomb.
I'm fine with that on the condition that you actually watch the season leading up to it.
I'm not going to watch the whole bloody season. I'll watch the episodes again. I can't watch the whole season, man. That's cruel and unusual punishment. It got banned by Geneva Convention. But go on in. What are you bringing, Andy?
I'm going to bring, and I'm mostly bringing this because I'm going to get a chance to speak with the author this weekend and I can get some proper stats. I'm bringing an Elder Craft World from Warhammer 40k.
Bloody hell. Okay. So we're on big ships so far.
Yep.
Which means that Pete's going to be bringing...
I'm going to bring the Dark Aster from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice. So
Nice choice.
So
Well
dark.
played. I mean, it does crash, granted.
Yeah, of course, because it's one of my choices.
I was going to say, in keeping with the theme, once again, face down in the planet. But, we're doing well. You at least...
This one tries.
This one...
It falls very gracefully for a while.
Yes, it is falling with style. So, brilliant. Well, there you go. So it's the Darkaster from Guardians of the Galaxy, the Magog world ship from Andromeda, and an Elder Craft world.
Yes, Elder Craft world.
Which is where all the cheese comes from.
Oh, yes.
If you would like craft cheese, it comes from the Elder Craft world. So, that's it, really. Is Anne-Marie still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello. Sorry. So, yeah, we just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for coming along.
Well,
you're always
bringing
welcome
the
here.
Flying turd.
Yes, bring the turds. And if you have any other turds, you're more than welcome to bring them as well.
I have one in mind.
Yeah.
Thus far, it would rival Peter's score today because so much is unknown.
Sounds like a winner. Give it to Pete.
Yeah.
So I've got one on the back burner, shall we say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Well, the door's open if you want to bring it.
Thank you.
Okay, but we'll see how it goes with the old scheduling. See if you want to bring it this time or you want to come and join us next time or whatever. So, there you go. So, thank you, Anne-Marie, for joining us. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Andy. And guys, you want to do your promotional stuff? Pete, do you want to do your one first?
Yeah, I do this podcast thing with Anne-Marie.
Yeah, we do the broadcast and I swear a lot and get drunk.
So, you've got a sample of that tonight already.
Yeah, it feels like one of those perfume samplers you get out of the magazines, doesn't it? Broadcast, pour hom. Right.
Yeah, particularly when we cover season 1 next generation.
Oh, fucking hell.
Nice. And where can we find this glorious podcast?
On Ian Tunes and on Geek Planet Online.
Brilliant. And what about you, Andy?
Well, you can find me on the Grand Prix podcast with Elton McManus, which is at rogue2.com and on iTunes and all those places. And also occasionally the Band of Brothers podcast.
Brilliant.
When we can be bothered to record.
When you can be bothered to record it. Okay. And you can find me on the Black Dog podcast with Darren and Jim and Elton. And you can find out at blackdogpodcast.com, and that's about it, really, and iTunes, I guess. So that's it. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you again, Pete. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Andy. We're all back to square. We're all back to normal now. The transporter accident's been cleared up, and now it's time to move on. And we shall see you all next time for the Magog World ship versus the Elder Craft Cheese World versus the Darkaster, a crashing ship. Until next time, take care. Thanks very much for listening, and Tassie bye.
We're going down.
Bye.
I should go.
Space Doc Jury is a production by Three Angry Beards.